Coalition airstrikes continue to bombard ISIS strongholds while we took to the streets to get locals' reactions on the terrorist group.
And it's been a rough day for travelers after hundreds of flights were delayed. More on that fire that broke out inside an air traffic control tower.
And the San Diego City Council is pushing for tougher policies on climate change. Find out how volunteers came out to help clean up the city. Good evening from the UTTV in San Diego. I'm Heidi Alaga.
And I'm Joshua Lipton. Thank you for joining us on this edition of Newscene.
President Obama addresses the United Nations on Wednesday with a speech that for some echoed past presidents' war on terrorism. The president did not speak about peace, but new ways to expand on the ISIS attacks. He urges world leaders to follow the lead of the United States in combating the terror group. Obama told new Iraqi prime minister to brace himself for a long battle. But measures to dismantle ISIS can only intensify from here as more countries join the battle.
With the growing threat of an ISIS attack on U.S. soil, Carrie Bryant took to the streets to get reactions from local citizens. Carrie, what do you got for us?
Yes, Josh, that's right. And with all the recent commotion surrounding the terrorist group, I went out to see how the local community felt about the possible threat of ISIS and if they were aware of what was going on. Here's what they had to say. Well, as you can see, there were a lot of mixed emotions that I did receive from the people that were willing to talk. However, all of them did agree that something needs to be done to prevent any further violence or casualties. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Carrie. Apologize for those technical difficulties. American and British military-led coalition warplanes in eastern Syria were sent out to destroy 4 gas tanks belonging to ISIS. The British-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights reported that the airstrikes overnight and early Friday hit the tank field that generates millions of dollars for the terrorist group. Air raids also targeting the headquarters of the Islamic State group in the town of Mayadeen. France, Denmark, and Belgium have also joined the operation as the airstrikes continue.
And doctors are struggling with the limited resources for treating Ebola in West Africa, and now one doctor is taking a different approach. The doctor is experimenting with the drug lamivudine, a drug used mostly for the treatment of HIV. So far, he has seen a much lower death rate than the current 70% in West Africa. Now, however, the treatment is still in trial phase. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says the virus could hit 1.4 million cases by January.
And a fire erupted this morning in Aurora, Illinois at an air traffic control facility that halted over 1,000 flights coming in and out of Chicago. With only one injury reported, the fire led to the evacuation of the center about 40 miles west of downtown. This marks the second time since May that a problem at one of Chicago's major control facilities prompted a ground stop at O'Hare and Midway International airports. The site was evacuated for over 3 hours, and it is still unclear what caused the blaze.
And one of the first cabinet members in the Obama administration is resigning. Eric Holder will be stepping down from his post as Attorney General after a 6-year tenure. Holder is the first African-American to hold position and was Mr. Obama's chief ally in efforts to protect voter rights and end racism in the justice system. Critics remember him most for his Fast and Furious operation, which allowed thousands of guns to be illegally sold in hopes of tracking the weapons to the Mexican drug cartels. His resignation comes during a time of crisis around the world, but he promises to hold the position until a successor is named.
And a man will soon answer to charges in the disappearance of a University of Virginia student. Jesse Matthew was arrested in the abduction of 18-year-old Hannah Graham. 1,500 tips led law enforcement to a beach in Galveston County, Texas, where Matthew was found camping in a tent. The judge ordered Matthew to be held without bond until his extradition to Virginia.
And the hunt for an alleged suspect who shot and killed a state trooper Numerous sightings of the accused gunman Eric Freen have been reported, with hundreds of officers involved in the search. Freen's military training has so far kept him one step ahead. Freen is accused of shooting 2 state troopers, killing one and wounding another.
And women have launched a worldwide feminist campaign. He for She is aimed at gender equality by encouraging men to speak openly against sexism. British actress and newly appointed Global Goodwill Ambassador Emma Watson, along with American journalist Wolf Blitzer, will be the spokespersons for the movement. The global initiative seeks to put men at the center of activism and dialogue to end persistent inequalities faced by women around the world. Within 48 hours of the campaign's launch, nearly 85,000 signatures from male supporters were received. India's Mars orbiter successfully entered Mars orbit Wednesday morning, becoming the first Asian country to reach the red planet. The spacecraft launched on November 5th and has traveled over 650 million kilometers to enter Mars orbit. A funny thing about this story is the film Gravity actually cost more money to send this Indian spacecraft to Mars. Its mission is to orbit the red planet, mapping its surface and studying the atmosphere.
And Walmart will soon offer a new service. They plan to serve Americans who can't get accounts at traditional banks. They will offer low-fee checking and debit accounts called GoBank. Its unique features include no credit check, no minimum balance, and no overdraft fees. Customers will also have access to 42,000 free ATMs. The new banking service will be available starting next March. And the new
The new iPhone 6 is not as durable as it once claimed. The phone, retailing for $299, is literally getting bent out of shape when stored in pant pockets during everyday body movements, such as sitting and driving. The design flaw was first reported on Mac Rumors Forum. The iPhone 6 owner reported that after driving to and from a wedding, his iPhone 6 was out of its original shape. Others have issued their complaints on Twitter using the hashtag #PoundBendGate.
And other complaints, Apple has just released the new iOS 8.2 software, On Wednesday, the tech giant pulled its recently released iOS 8 software after users complained of dropped calls, Bluetooth connection, issues with their battery, and even some experienced locked devices. But all of the issues have been taken care of, and you can now download the new software.
2 popular California mountain resorts are coming together. More on the new developments coming up.
And it was an exciting night for the Yankees fans. Player Derek Jeter took the field for the last time in New York. Sports is coming up next.
I shouldn't drive home last night. I stayed at Dave. I'm back. I'm back. Yeah, I'm back.
People who lost their loved ones in the crash of PSA Flight 182 or witnessed the disaster gathered yesterday to memorialize its 36th anniversary. Loved ones left flowers. A formal naming of all the victims was read, and words of affirmation were written on the sidewalk of the site. Its first responders that day, like former San Diego police officer Carl Limbrick, return every year to ensure that the tragedy is never forgotten.
When a major disaster occurs, they seem to come together, and that's what happened that day. And although it was such a huge disaster, people from the neighborhoods, the businesses were helping out, and it was kind of heartwarming.
The Flight PSA 182 committee is still looking for a site to build a formal memorial. Until they find a permanent location, they will continue to gather every year at Dwight and Boundary Street to recognize the victims lost.
And earlier this week, family members wished farewells to sailors on the USS Gary as it departed on a historic mission. The ship left Naval Base San Diego on her final deployment after 30 years of service. The Gary will travel to Central America coast to support Operation Martillo, a 14-country initiative to decrease drug trafficking. Despite the sadness, family members are excited for their sailors to be a part of this mission. The ship is expected to be deployed for about 6 to 7 months.
And the owner of Mammoth Mountain Ski Resort announced it will acquire Big Bear Mountain Ski Resorts. Big Bear Mountain Resort is the largest ski and snowboard resort in Southern California, averaging nearly 800,000 visitors every winter. The deal will cost Mammoth owners $38 million, and as an added bonus, visitors can purchase a season pass called the California, which allows them access to all 4 resorts for one price. These passes will go on sale tomorrow at the Hot Dogs and Handrails event at Big Bear Mountain. And history is being made this week in the world of sports. Nate Holmes is here with the latest. Nate, what do you got for us?
Thank you, Josh. But history is being made, but first there's some big news coming out of the NASCAR world this week. Driver Tony Stewart will not be facing criminal charges after the death
Were you supposed to read that?
of the grand jury maker. Single giving New York a 6-5 win. His last game at Yankee Stadium will also be his last game playing shortstop, and out of respect for the Red Sox and their fans, Jeter will play in Boston this weekend as the Yankees end their 2014 season. And in honor of Jeter retiring, the famous pro baseball bat used by the player will no longer be up for sale. Louisville Slugger is retiring the P72. It is the model Jeter used most throughout his career, but the company says they will make an identical line named after Jeter called the DJ72. Jeter used the P72 bat more than 2,500 times throughout his legendary career. And listen up, Charger fans, if you can't make it out to Qualcomm Stadium this Sunday, no worries. The game will be shown on TV. The Bolts and their fans were worried that the game would be blacked out. On Wednesday, Chargers still had more than 5,000 game tickets left, but thanks to the team's loyal sponsors for buying the remaining tickets, the game will make it to air. Bolts will take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. The game starts at 1 p.m. And this is one of my favorite stories of the week. One woman is making history right here in San Diego, and it's all for the love of football. Seeing a female coach in the football world is definitely a rarity, but Niji Martin is making history at San Diego High School as the first female varsity coach in the city.
It's awesome that I'm making history, but I'm not doing it to make history. I'm doing it because I love football and want to give back, and the opportunity to be a head coach, came my way. I always told myself that I wanted to be a varsity head coach by the time I was 40. I'm 31, so I got that opportunity way sooner than I thought I would. But I'm just excited for the opportunity. I'm excited to maybe inspire somebody to do something that they're really passionate about. They might think that there's a gender barrier or something like that. And I just want to be an example that if you're really dedicated to what you love, you can get there and you can accomplish it and you can have it be part of your life. Coach Martin has an impressive football background, and she's no stranger to putting on a helmet and pads after playing in the Professional Women's League. I've been playing women's football. I just finished my 11th season. I'll be starting my 12th season overall. But I think that that's given me sort of a great foothold for coaching. But I think the coaching has also helped my playing ability. Her playing ability and knowledge of the game earned her a starting spot with the Cavers.
She's played, she's earned the respect, and she's been here before. So it's the same respect as any other head coach.
A new coach is not a new thing for us, so we're really adapting to this well, and hopefully everything turns out better than before.
My goal is to make sure that I'm trying to help each player get better. I'm not just out here being a cheerleader for them. I'm actually giving them constructive criticism, because if you're not getting better, you're really just being stagnant. And when it comes to football, when it comes to school, when it comes to anything, if you're stagnant, you're not getting anywhere, you're not going to excel. And so, my goal is I want to encourage them to be the best they can. And in order to help them be that best, I have to make sure they know when they're making a mistake, when they're doing something right, stuff like that.
Nate Holmes, Newscene. That was my favorite story. She was a great player. The Cabers will be taking on University City tonight at UC High School. The game kicks off at 6:30. And Josh, we're going to send it back to you.
Thank you, Nate. That was a phenomenal story, and I'm not going to lie to you. I think that young lady could easily be on the Chargers team now that Danny Woodhead is out for the season. Let's put her in there. A local artist is hoping to make big changes on one of his murals in Barrio Logan. We will tell you how you can get involved later on.
And Disney's in some trouble after a lawsuit was filed over the movie Frozen. Find out what she's claiming the movie stole from her.
Things can get so hectic, so sometimes I need to find an easy way to express what's most important to me. Like with my crew, I use shorthand to tell them what I need. And when I need to talk directly to my fans, but the most meaningful shorthand of all is the one I use when I'm about to drive. #X. It's an easy way to tell everyone that I'm about to drive, and I do it every time before I get behind the wheel. Use #X to pause the conversation before you drive, because no text is worth a life. When I'm working, things can get so hectic, so sometimes I need to find an easy way to express what's most important to me. Like with my crew, I use shorthand to tell them what I need. And when I need to talk directly to my fans, but the most meaningful shorthand of all is the one I use when I'm about to drive. #X. It's an easy way to tell everyone that I'm about to drive, and I do it every time before I get behind the wheel. Use #X to pause the conversation before you drive, because no text.
And San Diego County officials are reminding hikers to be wary of the squirrel population in Palomar Mountain area. 2 squirrels were trapped last week in the Doane Valley campground area in a routine monitoring and were tested positive for the plague. The environmental health vector control crews have posted warning signs in dusted squirrels' burrows to kill the fleas that can transmit the plague. County officials said hikers and campers should look for plague warning signs and keep away from squirrels and chipmunks.
18 San Diego residents have been convicted in a crackdown on scissor, a dangerous mix of codeine, cough syrup, and soft drinks. Other names for the mixed drink are Drank, Lean, Purple Drank, and Sip. The U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration and National City Police have been working together for more than 18 months on Operation Purple Haze.
And City College students and San Diegans have a chance to make history. Legendary muralist Salvador Torres is on the verge of completing the restoration of the Kelco Historical Community mural in Barrio Logan. Torres has completed 50% of the restoration but needs help for the final part.
I would like to invite the students of City College to participate with me on the completion of the Kelco Historical Community mural.
The mural must be completed by November 30th because the scaffolding has to come down. Anyone interested in helping paint the mural is welcome to stop by Monday through Friday from now until November, anytime between 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. in Barrio Logan at the intersection of Harbor Drive and Cesar Chavez Avenue.
And now for the latest in entertainment news, Angie White has all the stories.
Thank you, Heidi and Josh. And the hottest story this week in entertainment is the split between Wiz Khalifa and his wife. A year after being married, rapper Wiz Khalifa and his wife Amber Rose are splitting. According to divorce documents obtained by TMZ, Rose filed for divorce on Tuesday. The American model stated that the two were experiencing irreconcilable differences. Rumors of the affair were confirmed when Rose took the conflict to Twitter. Yesterday morning, Rose tweeted that she'd never cheat on her husband, but unfortunately, he can't say the same. Rose is asking for full legal custody of their 1-year-old son, Sebastian Tomaz, and is willing to give Khalifa visitation. And you won't believe this, but a woman is claiming that the Walt Disney Company stole her life story in the hit movie Frozen. Isabella Tanakumi is suing Disney for $250 million. In 2010, Tanakumi wrote an autobiography titled Living My Truth. Tanakumi's 3-page federal complaint lists several examples of how Frozen copied her life. Comparisons include character names, growing up in the snowy mountains, and the relationship shared between each character. And there's currently no mention of talking snowman in the lawsuit, so for now, Olaf is in the clear. And Tyler Perry's Medea Goes on Maternity Leave hits theaters this fall. No, not really, but actor and director Tyler Perry is expecting his first child with girlfriend Galia Beckelay. Perry announced the happy news over the weekend during his 45th birthday party in Atlanta. A close friend to the Medea mastermind posted a picture on Instagram saying they're expecting a baby boy. Perry posted on his Facebook, "I had never thrown myself a birthday party, so for my 45th, I wanted to do something special. It was a night I'll never forget. Congratulations, Tyler and Galia. It's the least to say you'll have a beautiful and funny baby boy." And the celebration continues this weekend as Mission Beach throws a grand party in honor of its 100th birthday. The 1914 community was adopted by the Common City Council of San Diego. The 100-year-old beach has been throwing a celebration all year with sandcastle lessons, a monument dedication, and surf competitions. Wrapping up the festivities, the beach will host a beer garden, live bands, barbecue cook-offs, and kid zones all day tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Now in its 13th year, the San Diego Film Festival continues to gain attention nationwide. The 5-day event is now in its final days, wrapping up tomorrow evening. The Reading Cinemas Gaslamp, the ArcLight Cinemas in La Jolla are the two film villages moviegoers can catch all the action. This past Tuesday, the festival kicked things off with the premiere of Chelsea's Light, a brother's journey and memory of the San Diego's own Chelsea King. Tomorrow night, festivities will wrap up the premiere of The Imitation Game starring Benedict Cumberbatch, Keira Knightley, and Matthew Goode. The 5-day fest has earned more than 12 awards for Best Film Festival and has been named one of the top 10 regional film festivals in the country. And that's all in the entertainment news this week. I'm Angie White, tossing it back to you. Heidi?
Angie, are you going to be making it out to the San Diego Film Festival? I hope you are, because Imitation Game looks great.
And guys, now that fall has officially started,
we're going to see if the weather is going to continue to cool down. The weather is coming up next. Stay with us.
For more than a decade, our country has been at war.
And as our service members were trained to wage war,
they were also trained to wage leadership and loyalty
and teamwork.
They were trained to wage compassion
and problem solving
and understanding.
Our military veterans were trained to wage good.
And as they return home, we have a chance to join them
and wage good for all Americans.
By empowering our veterans to strengthen our communities.
As volunteers and first responders,
teachers and small business owners,
as neighbors and friends.
The Got Your Six campaign is dedicated to waging good by bridging the civilian-military divide.
And helping returning veterans realize their true potential as leaders and community assets.
So help us wage good at gotyoursix.org.
I've got your six.
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 For more than a decade, our country has been at war.
And as our service members were trained to wage war,
they were also trained to wage.
Sorry about those technical difficulties. Firefighters have made more progress battling the massive King Fire. The King Fire is raging in the El Dorado National Forest east of Sacramento. The blaze has been burning for 2 weeks and has torched over 95,000 acres. The rainfall has helped and is now 43% contained. And the San Diego County of Supervisors will spend up to $5.2 million to buy a third firefighter helicopter. The UHH-1 Super Huey has a capacity of 324 gallons of water and can carry a crew of 9 firefighters. In May, 14 fires scorched 25,000 acres and caused nearly $30 million in property damage. And now let's talk about some weather. Elizabeth is here to give us all of the weather for this weekend and the upcoming week. What do you have for us?
Well, thank you so much, Heidi. Fall is officially here, and the Santa Ana winds are cooling off a little bit, and the temperatures are dropping.
I think Elizabeth, you might want to turn up your your mic a little bit so we can hear you. Yeah, no worries. It's nothing big. We'll give you a minute to fix that. Until then, though, let's talk about the weekend. Josh, any plans?
For me, on just enjoying, laying back, relaxing my last few days working at Fox Sports San Diego studios. The Padres season is wrapping up Sunday, so they're already setting up for the Paul McCartney concert. So if you guys haven't gotten tickets for that, get on board.
When's that happening?
Sunday.
Sunday
night.
Paul McCartney in San Diego on Sunday. That's an
Petco
event
Park.
you don't want to miss.
Tickets are sold out. check out StubHub.
Alrighty, I think we got the situation fixed with our weather girl, Elizabeth. What's it looking like?
Sorry about that, Heidi. We had some technical difficulties. So I just wanted to show you guys, this is our national map. You can see that the temperatures are dropping across the nation, unless of course you're in Phoenix with a low of 77, or down here in Miami with a low of 78. If you are traveling to Salt Lake City, Phoenix, Texas, or Florida, you will want to check your weather for cancellations and or delays, because there are a lot of thunderstorms brewing over the nation. So if you take a look over here up at the northeast, there are beautiful temperatures with a low of 60 degrees in New York City. This is a great time to travel there. Now let's take a look. We've been following Hurricane Rachel. She is traveling northeast towards Baja California at a rate of about 16 miles an hour with winds of about 50 miles an hour. Hurricane experts do anticipate that she's going to be downgraded to a tropical storm by the time that she hits Baja. So that is great news for Cabo San Lucas. Now let's take a look. This is our weekly forecast here in San Diego. Temperatures have dropped at an average about 10 degrees from last week. You can see over here the weekend, we're going to have a beautiful weekend with a low of or high of 76. Sunday is going to be a great day for that Chargers game. It warms up again towards the end of the week with a high of 81. And you'll want to take notice that the highs here are between the peak hours of 1 and 2. So during daylight hours, you'll be averaging about in like the low 70s. So we have a beautiful week up ahead. Night temperatures are following as well. And that's it. Looks like a great week. Back to you guys at the desk.
All right, thank you so much, Elizabeth, for all that. Now we're going to go ahead and talk about something called Kidvasion that's known here in San Diego to give free admission to kids under 12 at the San Diego Zoo, Balboa Park Museums, the Safari Park, SeaWorld.
Other offers include unlimited rides at Belmont Park and a free surf lesson at the Surf Diva School in La Jolla. Many hotels and restaurants around the region are also offering free meals for the youngsters as well.
And did you know, Josh, it's actually been a tradition for the past 25 years now. So
did not know that.
If you're a kid, go out there. But for now, we're going to have to say goodnight. Thank you for watching Newscene. I'm Heidi Laga.
And I'm Joshua Lipton. Have a great weekend, guys.